So Judaism, on surface, seems to be quite a regimented and structured religion, and there's no real space for running after spirituality. You have to get up by a certain time. You put black boxes on your head. Those black boxes have to be a certain way. Every day, every moment has a structure to it. There's a lot of structure in the religion. But this structure is really just a plea for the spirituality. Spirituality is where you're trying to transcend the transcendence. Get me out of my body. Let me transcend the physicality and go to a place that's higher up. Go to a place that's more spiritual, that doesn't need all these things that drag me down in my physical life. Let me just be at one with infinity. In infinity, I don't need structure. I don't need rules. So you have things like Musar or Hashkafa, and then you learn about God. But then what's it got to do with all these kalim and the structure? So you see this everywhere in the world, like a heartbeat. You have contraction, you have expansion. You have it with the waves. Everywhere in the world. So your whole body only works because your heart is pumping and it's taking in non-oxidated blood and pumping out oxidated blood elsewhere. So it's drawing in and pushing out. That's how the whole world works, and that's where life is coming from. This is called the Rotze Veshuv. And Rotze Veshuv, the Rotze is where you're running towards Shemayim, and the Shuv is where you stay here. So simple understanding would be that you want to dance around Gan Eden with God, and God says, no, I want you on earth. So therefore, by you taking on the Shuv, by you taking on, no, I'm going to stay here. So then that's a higher level of bittul to God, because you're doing God's Rotzen as opposed to your Rotzen. But on a higher level, you have that as you get involved with mitzvahs, you get involved with Torah, you get involved with God. So then you have a desire to go into Shemayim. You have a desire to join God. You have a desire, God's Eino Milvado. Nothing here matters. I want to go up there. So then the Shoiv becomes a higher level of understanding of God. Because since God's everywhere, Eino Milvado, and therefore there's no difference between up in Shemayim and down here on earth, because God's everywhere. So therefore, by taking on a higher level of the understanding of Eino Milvado, that the Rotze brings to a higher level of Shoiv. The Shoiv is a level of Soviv Kolaman, where it's that God's everywhere. That since God's everywhere and everything's infinite, so therefore me here in my physical world, that is going to be my connection to God, because I can connect to God everywhere, and my connection to God in Gan Eden is no different to the connection to God down here, at least on one level, because obviously down here is a better connection in the physical world, the Dir B'Tachtonim. So this longing for God and this desire for infinity, how do you not lose your mind? How do you keep your mind? So there you need the structure of Shoiv, the structure of Torah and mitzvahs, that on the surface they look completely empty, and the only reason that doing these mitzvahs have any value is because of Eino Milvado, because of God's infinity, because of the Rotzen of God that's put into the Torah. So that for the whole of life you go through this process of Rotze Veshuv, and every time that you come back, you're back on a higher level, and when you're on a higher level, so then your desire for God is on a higher level. So the Rotze Veshuv, you have that desire to go up, but then you bring down that spirituality into the kalim. You bring down that spirituality into the mundaneness, into the structure. So then you have that structure that's able to hold the spirituality in which you gained it. Then now you're on the higher level of structure that's able to hold the spirituality. Then you're able to reach a higher level of spirituality, a higher level of Rotze coming from the higher level of Veshuv, and that's life. And if you're the same person you were 5 years ago, because you're not going through this process, but by going through this process, therefore you're a different person every day, you're a different person every minute, different person every hour, that in the structure. But if you don't have the structure, so then you'll get lost in the infinity. And if you don't have the infinity, so then you'll get lost in the structure.